Hello, everybody. Welcome to Flicker Effect Movie Reviews. I'm David Lotch. Joining me, as always, is Michelle Curry. How's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm good. It's weird. We're not holding mics anymore.
I know. I almost don't know what to do with
my
myself.
hands. So we're going to be talking about Wonder Woman today.
Woo!
It is finally here. The next film in the DC Extended Universe. This one was directed by Patty Jenkins. I believe she's probably best known as the writer and director of Monster, which was starring Charlize Theron. Honestly, I never even saw that movie.
You didn't see Monster?
No, sadly, that's one I missed.
I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty good performance-wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Just for Charlize's performance and really even Christina Ricci's. Like, yeah, you need to see that one.
I know. I need to see that. But yeah, I never saw it. The movie stars Gal Gadot, of course, as Wonder Woman. We also have Chris Pine in the film. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. I will say, if you're looking for a more in-depth spoiler-filled review, we will eventually be talking about it on the podcast, and that's my next announcement. Unfortunately, I don't think we're actually going to be able to record that episode this weekend. So it's going to possibly be delayed by as long as a week. Our apologies. At least we have this out, but the podcast will be coming. A spoiler-filled review will be coming, but maybe not for another few days. All right, Michelle. It seems like you have been very, very hyped about Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
My first question before we talk about the movie is, and because honestly, I don't think I've ever asked you this. Have you always been like a fan of Wonder Woman? Is your excitement been because of that, or has it been more just because we're finally getting a female-led superhero film? Where does your fandom for this come from?
It's kind of a big loaded question. So really, I don't know a lot about Wonder Woman. I've actually never been a big Wonder Woman person or a fan. Not that I've been against Wonder Woman. I just never read any of the comics or watched the old TV show that is so well known. No, it just never was a big thing for me. And then they announced that they were doing a full feature-length film with a female lead, a female character being the main front. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. And that's, my little feminist is all excited because I'm like, wow, we really haven't had any female superheroes just completely own their own film yet. Like, it's awesome. And so I was pretty excited about that. And then finding out Gal Gadot was in the role, which is really good news. I think she looks perfect for the part. And then seeing that first trailer, that's actually what got me. Like, I saw that first trailer and I was just like, holy crap, this is a different level. This is, I don't know. There was just something about it. And I felt like every trailer that came out after that first one, I was like, this is getting better and better. I'm getting more excited. And yeah, that's kind of where I stand with Wonder Woman. Not a big background on it, but.
Yeah, and as our norm, I guess, we haven't talked about the movie yet.
No.
So I'm curious, what did you think of Wonder Woman? I just saw it last night, so it's kind of fresh.
It is still pretty fresh. And I will say, my hopes were pretty high from seeing all the trailers. And I've not read any reviews, but, it's hard not to go through a feed and see just the titles of a review or just a quick headline. And everything that was coming out was super positive. And I was like, okay, I'm getting really excited about this. I'm trying not to get excited about this, but I'm happy to see that it's getting reviewed as well as it is, and it's getting so many people to just become fans of it. Yeah, I gotta say that with this film, I think DC is finally getting their shit together. Quite honestly, it was awesome. I'm very happy with the film. Not to say that there aren't issues with it. There are really, for me, it's more nitpicky stuff, but if I just looked at this picture as a whole, from start to finish, I'm very happy with it. I'm stupidly happy with Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. There's just something about her. I mean, and I say that, and obviously she's a gorgeous, gorgeous woman, but there's just something about her. There's a presence she carries on film, and she just has this thing about her. And as this character, she pulls it off perfectly. No, I think overall I'm very happy with the story and the way the story kind of rolls out. I don't know. It's like there was a part of me that almost felt like with the first act, when you're in her home, part of me was like, oh, this is kind of slow, but at the same time, like there's so much quick story that we're getting in a very short amount of time when you really look at the picture as a whole. And it's such build up. And so halfway through the movie, I was like, yeah, no, it really wasn't that slow if I think about how much they covered in that time frame. But yeah, it's as much backstory to Wonder Woman as you possibly could cram into a film, I guess, for her first like debut into this DC film world. I don't even know. Like honestly, like the fighting sequences I thought were really great. I will say some of the CGI was a little rough for me in certain parts, and yet at other parts it was flawless and just amazing. But yeah, it's just I enjoyed seeing her realize who she is and just slowly grow as who Wonder Woman does in the film. Just watching her develop and understand what she is and how she is, and you know, it's a powerful message. The whole film is just, it's not about like, I don't know, there's just something different about it. There's a different feel to it. It's about love and being there for people and believing in people, no matter if they've had to do something bad or good, and they're choosing to constantly choose good and realize that, I don't know, there's just a lot, and I'm still processing so much of this film, but I really liked it. I was very, very happy with it. I can't say that I'm completely 100% in love with it. There were just some moments that were kind of cheesy, but overall, no, I'm very pleased with what we're seeing. It's not Zack Snyder, and I'm very happy. And I say that, and I'm not trying to be mean to Zack, but it's just, there's a brilliance to the film, to the look, to the feel of the whole thing. And yeah, and I know it's funny because I know that you've said in the past you've not been a fan of the Wonder Woman theme. And I feel like I've kind of been like on the fence with it.
Oh, the music, okay.
Yeah. And so like when the Wonder Woman theme would come on and she would be doing her thing, like seeing it hearing it in the context with the visual, for me, I actually really dig it. I think there's something kind of like a raw energy to it and almost animalistic. And I think that goes back to her strength, physically and internally, emotionally. And I really dig it. It's awesome. But yeah, I don't know what to say other than I'm very happy with the film. I really am.
Yeah, I know on the podcast I've been kind of labeled as the DC guy. But yeah, I'm a fan of DC Comics. I fully admit though, when it comes to Wonder Woman, I'm not as knowledgeable. I am not as familiar with her backstory. So I was looking forward to this movie on a few levels, and that was one of them. That, okay, I'll finally get a real like breakdown of how she came to be and hear her origin story. So I was looking forward to that because I wasn't really that familiar. And we haven't had a superhero movie, I feel like, in a while from either DC or Marvel, where it's a true kind of solo film. Like, except for the Guardians of the Galaxy films, I guess, which, yeah, they really are on their own. And yeah, I guess Doctor Strange wasn't that far long ago now that I think about it. But it's been so much about, the Avengers, and even in solo films, other guys popping into those movies. And then now more recently with, for DC anyway, with Batman versus Superman, that I'm like, for some reason, yeah, it kind of felt like, man, that we're getting a kind of an origin solo movie again,
right?
Which was kind of nice. And yeah, I liked the movie quite a bit. It was very good. I agree, it's not perfect. It's got a couple things, but not enough for me to even almost mention. Overall, the movie is a very good movie. I would definitely recommend it to anybody, even people who aren't traditional comic book fans. I think. Or comic book movie fans, I think, they would still enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at times in the movie it kind of drags a bit, and maybe there's not enough going on in terms of action for a good chunk of the middle of the film. I think it could have used, but overall, again, I really liked it. I thought Gal Gadot was great. I know, like you just said, I thought she was amazing. I know there was a lot of questions when she was first cast back before Batman versus Superman, but I feel like she's probably silenced most critics.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always going to have some people that you're never going to convince, but Yeah, I thought she was great. I thought Chris Pine was great, and his character. Honestly, I would even watch a spin-off film of some like adventures of, his character. I would
Yeah.
totally buy into that. I dug his performance. I dug the character. The movie was very good, and you talk about the theme, and I had already thought about that too. And yes, I will say that in the context of this movie, in the context of now knowing kind of her origin story, the theme works really well.
Yeah.
I was skeptical, especially the way it was used in Batman versus Superman. It just felt like it just stuck out like a sore thumb every time it played, and I'm just like, I get that, every member of the Justice League is going to have their own theme, but I don't know, it just feels so weird every time we would hear that theme. It was like jarring, but in this film it worked really well, and now kind of knowing more about who she is, it fits her better for me.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like there's like a rawness to that sound, and it just echoes her strength so much. And so when you have it melded together in this way, whereas in Batman versus Superman, it was so overwhelming because it was so raw. And I wish I could have a better word than that, but it just feels like it connects well with her character, and seeing it as the grand film, I loved it.
Yeah. And I feel like the movie does a good job early on when we're at their home of just, I don't know how to explain it. It somehow gets you excited for her very quickly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how Patty Jenkins pulled it off, but she does. Like, and I don't mean that like, oh, how do you make Wonder Woman exciting? I don't mean that to come across the wrong way, but I don't know. As being someone who, again, is not as familiar with Wonder Woman, has not really necessarily considered myself a fan. I don't think I've ever read a Wonder Woman comic. It did not take long at all for me to buy into, I really dig the superhero, and I'm excited for now even seeing her appear in Justice League with the rest of the group again. And, obviously there'll be more members of the group this time around once we see the full-on Justice League.
Right.
I almost want to go back and watch Batman versus Superman now and just see her in that. Now having seen Wonder Woman, I'm a big fan. It's tough. Part of me wants to say, oh God, this is definitely the best DC film so far. But I have to say, I've always said I'm a big fan of Man of Steel.
Right.
So I don't know. I will admit that's almost hard for me to say that it's necessarily better than Man of Steel. Again, that's coming from someone like me who enjoyed that movie.
Right.
I know a lot of people didn't. That movie was way more divisive than Wonder Woman seems to be. Seems like so far reviews are pretty positive across the board. I haven't looked at a Rotten Tomatoes score yet, but everyone seems very happy.
Yeah, everybody seems very happy, and I completely agree. I mean, I will say, like you said, that there's parts of the movie that do, and I don't want to say drag, but there's just not a lot happening. It's a lot of almost just emotion between two people, and it's not even like it's heavy dialogue. There's just a lot that's being said that's not actually being said. And so that kind of goes on for a while. It's really more about feelings and emotions and kind of understanding that. But when there's action sequences, oh my God, they were awesome. I mean, just really intense. Even like in the training at the very beginning of the film, and you're really getting into the world of, and I hope I don't say this horrifically, Themyscira.
I may not be the best person.
So when you're on the island and you're seeing the Amazons doing their training, I mean, just watching them train was like, whoa, it's really intense. And there's a part of me I'm just so like, oh my God, these women, they're so strong and independent, and not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, and just seeing them and hearing them talk amongst each other. It's empowering. And I love that they have so much of that in this film. Right. And it's about your inner strength and not, I don't know, it's just so awesome. And yeah, the action sequences are spectacular. I mean, there's a sequence much later in the film, and the whole time you're watching her just charge, and you're just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, it's just all done so very well. And I'm really happy, and I don't hate Zack Snyder in any way, shape, or form, but
no, I know.
I'm really glad that Zack didn't direct this one, I will say. He definitely had a hand in it, obviously.
Yeah, he was a co-writer on the story.
Right.
He's obviously a producer on it as well.
Exactly. And that's great, but I'm glad that visually and for a little bit more of the look and a little bit more of the feel, it came from someone different. And I think she did a spectacular job.
I think she did too.
It was awesome.
I don't think DC and Warner Brothers could have asked for anything more than this.
Not at all.
It's exactly what DC needs right now.
It is.
And I'll fully admit, I've been super skeptical lately, even being a DC fan of this extended universe because of Batman vs. Superman and then Suicide Squad. But Justice League, I'm still skeptical. But we saw the trailer before the movie. I hadn't watched that trailer in a while. It's the same one we had seen a few months back. And I mean, I really hope it's so good. I just want it to be good so badly.
Hopeful for that film,
so hopeful.
please.
But anyway, that's our thoughts on Wonder Woman. Again, if you're interested in a spoiler-filled review, make sure to check out the podcast. It may be a few days away, but we will be posting probably a good hour-long review of Wonder Woman. We'll be talking about everything, so make sure to check that out. And you can always find us on iHeartRadio app, on YouTube, obviously. You're watching this right now. You can also find us on Facebook, on Google+, Twitter, all those various accounts. Just look on our website over on the right-hand side. Again, I'm David Lott.
I'm Michelle Curry.
Thanks for joining us.